Hello everybody and welcome back live here to Simraceway for the finale of the Designed for Speed Championship. Round number 4 coming at you today, and after round 3's very intriguing set of results, we're set for an epic climax here in the 500 to 900 skill quad. It's WTTN M1 that leads a charge on 182 points. He's just 22 points clear, but he's also on pole position. Can he defend his honour today here at Donington Park? Of course, we do have a restart coming just after this. This is just a practice. So the drivers will get properly underway now. So 19 laps of racing are about to get underway, and you cannot really argue with the prospect of this race. It's going to take a magical performance from Engange to take the win and the title from WTCN. He needs a retirement or at least a win for himself. So Kobayashi 10 also 126 points. Looking to maybe break into the top 5. He had a good race earlier on. So we will be right back with you very shortly for the race session in just under a minute's time. Okay, so we're back live then, the final round of the championship about to unveil here at Donington Park. As the plane flies overhead, the 4 red lights illuminate, WTTN M1 starts. His main contender alongside has got a fantastic launch into the first corner, and Engange may, just may, take the lead to go into Goddard's for the first time. He's going to try and sweep it, but he will lose ground. Very long apex, tricky to do as they go down in towards that very, very tricky complex of corners. And there's a bit of contact in the background. I think the front wings come off. Must have been Max Jones' car, maybe. No, it's Sky Pilot. So Sky Pilot has lost his front wing in the very early stages of the race. Out of the crane curves and through the old hairpin come the field, and WTTN already taken a massive advantage. 2.9 seconds to be exact. And he is showing no signs of lifting off as he wants to secure the championship. He would love to get himself that ultimate prize, and knowing that he's dominated this series from start to finish is exactly what he would like to say come the end of this afternoon. And in towards the final hairpin they come, out of Melbourne. And still a bit of action in the midfield there. That's Clark and Darek. So Clark 10 in 7th position at the moment, as they cross the line for the end of lap number 1. It's still been a very impressive start by our current championship leader, but it's Clark 10 in 7th who could very well be the man to keep an eye on. In terms of his championship charge, however, he's P10. So 50 points for Clark 10 as he tries to catch KM Quick this round, who's just 4 points in front. A couple of cars into the pit lane already. Kobayashi 10 is one of them, Sky Pilot the other. Both cars suffering the loss of front wings on the opening lap of the race. Thinking about Donington, it's very difficult to pass as well. Very tight, very narrow circuit. It favours touring car racing, and this is where these MP428s are going to struggle. But Clark 10 tries to look into that chicane, and he's not really going to find much success through there. Nonetheless, though, looking very feisty in these early stages. It could be a lot worse. that Howard goes wide at Melbourne, and that could cost him very large amounts of time. Of course, at the start of the race, you want to make as much as you can. You don't want to be there fighting and scrambling for positions come the last couple of laps, especially in a 4-race championship where just 3 of them count. So every driver has a drop round. For some of these guys out here, it could be a case of they don't need a good result. They've got 3 podiums or 3 wins. You don't know. But for other drivers, it could well be a case of they have to perform today. Having only got 2 good results, or maybe even 1 good result, they have to try and secure the best position they can. So some variations in driving styles I think we're going to see today, that's for sure. But coming towards the end of lap number 3 then is WTTN. He's entering that chicane again, though, being still very closely by Ganj. He's only 1.8 seconds adrift. Now we are expecting maybe something a little bit more than that. WTTN, the championship leader, got a fantastic start to his race. Got off the line well, almost lost the lead in turn 1, but after that got himself 3 seconds very early on. And then slowly that lead is coming crashing back down. And over the line for lap number 4, we've got a bit of a scuffle in the back. Now, that was involving Clarkton. I think he's just dive-bombed Darek, going in towards that very tricky final corner. There's been a bit of a hustle, and Darek in return has fallen right into the clutches of Howard, who's currently in 7th position, just about 2 seconds away at the moment. But even so, when you take a look at Howard's own championship charge and where he is at the moment, he's P12, 76 points overall. The man in front of him, Max Shome, on 84. So, again, needing a good result here today. With Max Shome back in 12th at the moment, that could be the result he needs. But of course, it's not all set in stone yet. We're not even a quarter of the way through the race. But over the line goes Kobayashi once again. Now that's his 4th lap, or the start of it. He's about 2 minutes 19 away from the next competitor. So over the line is going to come WTTM1. He's going to start lap number 5 out of 19. And now that gap accelerating up to 4.9 seconds. So he's starting to pull away now around the twists and turns of Donington Park. Ganj just slowly slipping away. Rob Nitro has really made an impact recently as well. He's up in 3rd place at the moment. So big start here by Rob Nitro. He would love to get himself well in the mix for a good top 5 here today. Currently on the podium position in his own championship. He's not done well at all. It's his 1st race here today. Well, I mean, say 1st race, I mean, it's his 1st race where he's been that close to another car. In terms of the warm-ups, he got a 109.432, and it was Kobayashi got a 109.489, so the field's spectacularly close. But Rob Nitro overall is in 3rd position. He's only 8 points away from Ganj. So the top 3 in the championship are the top 3 on the racetrack at the moment, and all 3 of them separated by just about 6 seconds as they make their way over the start-finish line yet again. So there goes Rob, looking as keen as ever. He's really impressed us his championship so far. Some exciting racing and some big manoeuvres as well for still a relatively newcomer to the championship format here at Simraceway. He's really adjusted well, and in return, I think the results have paid themselves. There's still a lot can happen here at Donington as the field start to separate out and get into their rhythms. We've got Clark 10 now breaking into the top 5. Darek in 6th, 7th Howard, 8th place Litos, Andy Bob 9th. With Wacky Pie in 10th, Pack 11th, Max Shane 12th. Big look up there for Kobayashi in 13th. And our first retirement of the day is the man who lost that front wing on the opening turn. That is Sky Pilot. I know, it's a real shame. One retirement after 4 laps, so the first corner as tricky as Goddard is quite surprising, really. So it's very nice to see the attrition rate nice and low here in the heart of the United Kingdom as WTTN crosses the line once again, and another lap closer to victory, another lap closer to what could very well be a Championship Series name. It's just going to take a few wizardy moments, I think, now. He's got to really try and keep his head up top above water, not let the pressure sink in. He's doing himself nearly 9 seconds now as well. So really flying at the moment. And don't forget as well, we've still got some breathtaking action a bit later on, still involving the McLaren MP428s from the 900 to 1100 skill quant. We've also got some breathtaking news regarding the new McLaren car coming to Simraceway very, very shortly. And we really can't wait to get our hands on that one. I've been wanting it for a long, long time to hear those V6s echo around some of your favourite circuits. But all WTTNM wants to hear now is the sound of that checkered flag waving in the wind. And something Engage is not going to want to hear is the engine of Rob Nitro slowly creeping up the backstairs. Only 3 seconds adrift now is Rob Nitro. And of course, only 4 points away. This is going to get a bit feisty, isn't it, as we approach a halfway mark. This is what racing is all about. But Engage still pushing at the moment. We'll keep an eye on his lap times next time by. But I've got a feeling that it's not enough. Rob Nitro's closing that gap down, and Dimitri and Clark 10 also starting to get a little bit closer together now. And over the bumps of Donington in towards that ever so nimble chicane, you've got to be one of the top drivers, I think, to get through there without contact or a loss of oversteer or anything like that. A very, very tricky corner to navigate indeed. But another lap down there, lap times that time round. It was Engage that did himself a 1 minute 10.5 and beaten by 300ths of a second. Rob Nitro looks to further his charge here to get himself on the second step of the podium, and he'll be delighted if he can, but catching is one thing, passing is another. It's not easy to do so. And I think he's going to find that out relatively quickly. A bit further down the field, all the drivers are really into their own rhythm now. There's not much in the way of battling at the moment. The closest action on the circuit coming from, I'd say, Litos, Andy Bob and Wacky Pie. That battle over 8th, 9th and 10th here at the circuit. And in return, that has gotten quite intense indeed. So I think take a ride on board with one of the drivers chasing it. Oh, and Andy Bob's off! And that is Peter. Now, where is that on the circuit? That's just coming out of the chicane, isn't it? Yeah, that's down in towards Melbourne that he's lost that car. Now, he's recovered it back to the circuit, smashes through the bollard in a sign of angst, but he's going to have to recover that MP426 back to the pit lane, and that is no means an easy task. It will be very difficult to do so. Yeah, he's got the pit button lit, and there's going to be a severe lack of downforce and grip in that car. So 12th place Andy Bob now will be very disheartened with that as he pulls the car into the pit lane, and it's hoisted up onto the jacks at a very fast pace indeed. And talking of fast pace, what about Dimitri and Clark 10? Clark now all over that rear end, and Dimitri's coming under a lot of fire right now. He's going to try and find some solution, and very soon, because he's going to lose out big time otherwise, and that's going to be a bit of a problem, we think. But still, you can just see that Dimitri's starting to make a few mistakes, locking up there into the first corner. And now Clark 10 may try and punish him through the crane of curves. Very fast set of corners before you break down into the old hairpin. Still doing about 140 miles an hour through there. Once again, Dimitri looking to really further his charge, but to do it, he's going to escape Clark 10, and it's very difficult to pull away when there's not that much room to give into a... Oh, nice! Rob Nitro's off! Rob spun! And he's lost the back end coming out of the chicane. We said it's a very problematic corner all afternoon long. And Rob Nitro, just a bit of oversteer, maybe touched the edge of the circuit. And that has cost him valuable, valuable time. Oh, and that's such a shame as well. He was catching the man in second in Ganj at such an alarming rate. And before you know it, it's all shattered in front of him. And that may also halt his championship charge. Now that is a real, real shame. And who knows, it's still not over yet. We've got a couple of laps left. Maybe his fortunes to change. It does seem to me like it's just could be too little too late. So run through of your updated order then after that incident. It is WTTN that still leads, which consequently means if he stays there, he's going to seal the championship here today. We've got Nganj in second, Dimitri now up to third place, which means his battle with Clark will develop into a battle for the final podium position. Now that's separated a little as of late. I think Clark turns out a couple of layering moments around the circuit, and in turn that's cost him quite a bit of time. Rob Nitro now down to 5th place after his crash. 6th place is now Darek, and still very hot on the tail as well. There still could be a little bit of a war between those two developing, who knows. Then we've got Hellwood 7th, Wacky Pie in 8th, Pack 23 in 9th. Max Shane rounds out your top 10 with Litos in 11th, Andy Bob in 12th, Kobayashi in 10th, and our only 12th, 13th, sorry, and our only retirement for today is Sky Pilot. But lap 13 of 19 is underway. So a nice little breath of fresh air, I think, now for the guys up in about 5th and 4th place. They've got not a lot of pressure compared to what they had previously. As Dimitri tries to hold on, obviously every lap he completes is another lap closer to home. And it's really playing a curve, just a little bit of dust flicked up onto the circuit. That's why Clark 10's gone very wide. So it's not just your race leaders that are struggling, it's not just Rob Nitro either. But my goodness me, that is not the ideal line there for Clark 10, and maybe the pressure's just starting to get to him slightly. It's easily done, he knows what's at stake here. Of course, it's not just the race. He's got to try and secure that championship position. He's all the way in 18th place. And he's only 4 points away from KM Quick, so he needs a strong result here today. A bit of side-by-side action there. Now that is Rob Nitro and Clark. Now Clark's been off again, and Clark and Rob are side-by-side. My apologies for not picking this up sooner. I thought that was lap traffic. But actually it's not. Now whilst these two are now not battling for podium positions, they will be battling for something a little more intense. Just a few more laps to go, and Rob Nitro's got a chance to get himself at least back to 4th on this recovery drive. So still pushing. We've got Darek in 6th as well. So those 3 cars are going to get very heated very quickly as the race starts to close to an end here at Donington. Clark now into the corner, looking very, very conservative. He's not trying to risk anything too much. I think he's very much aware of just how much there is to lose and what this could mean for his championship. Hasn't been his most successful endeavour here in Simraceway, but he wants to end it on a high. It can do so much for your confidence, of course, going into the next round of championship. I really can't wait to see what we've got lined up over the next few weeks for everyone, because these championships just seem to get better and better as time goes on. And Clark 10 being an advocate of that here today, just never giving up. He may be 15th in the standings, but showing he's an all-out and out racer. So WTTN still leads. Lap 16 of 19. He's gone off. I keep cursing this, it seems. The commentator's curse is very much alive here today. People starting to just get a little bit leery now towards the end of the race. Maybe thinking that this isn't exactly ideal. They can take their foot off the throttle, and I think Donington's just one of those circuits where you can't afford that. You've got to be focused 100% of the time, because if you're not, it will punish you. So lap number 17 underway, and still a big push has got to be from Clark 10. He's in there. Oh, now where's he gone there? That's not right. That's not the pit lane. That's the final corner. He's not lost any wings. Is there a problem here for Clark? Yeah, there must be. He's recovering to the pits. Now, I'm wondering if there may be a problem with a tyre or wheel or something, because the wing looks fine. The rear wing looks fine, unless it's a fuel problem. But that wouldn't explain why it was so wildly off circuit going in towards that final corner. Now he's missed his pit box as well, so Clark 10's race, as we were saying, is getting better. May just be over. I think we could have just spoke too soon. But there is still a bit of a war forming, because now the gap between WTTN and Engange is just over a second. WTTN ran wide going into the crane of curves. We saw this a moment ago, and now Engange is really looking to punish him for it. It's all about pressure. WTTN knows it's faster. All you've got to do is take a look at where they were in the warm-ups to this race. WTTN did a 109.087, just 7 thousandths of a second slower than Engange's attempt, but in qualifying, a very different story. It was WTTN, a stormer of a qualifying session, but we hit the 20-minute mark now here in this race. Still one more lap after this one to go, and WTTN leading the way by, albeit, a very minimal margin. So just as you think that the action's dying off, never quite the case, is it? And in towards that chicane again, over the bump. The cars can get a little bit squirmy through there sometimes. And over the curbing he looks, and still a little bit squirmy as Engange, obviously in the dirty air. So wanting to just maybe make sure that car does not do any damages. Of course, the lack of grip and the lack of oversteer could be a big contender.
This is the final lap. Keep it going.
So the final lap of the race underway then. And now Engange is really going to try and take this into his own hands. He's losing time. It's back up to 3 seconds through the old hairpin. Speeds of 150 mile an hour that time for the McLaren MP426. But is it too little too late? You've got to try and make up your ground here. You can't afford to just make it on the final part of the circuit. So in towards the chicane for the final time they go out, and it's still WTTN into the Melbourne hairpin that leads, and he's got himself a nice tidy exit as well. I don't think it's going to be enough for Engange now. It's too little too late. WTTN is going to go through the final corner for the 19th time today, and not only pick up a race victory, but he will be crowned the champion of the 500 to 900 skill quant. WTTM1, the Design for Speed Championship was designed for you. You are the champion. And what a drive that truly was. Charismatic from start to finish. And that's not just the race either. This entire championship has been a success story. And he'll be absolutely thrilled with that. Enganj takes a well-deserved second. Dimitri takes third. What a drive there. Rob Nitro recovers well to fourth place. Darek takes fifth. Sixth is Hurwood in front of Pack 23 in seventh. Clark 10 struggling in 8th will finish ahead of Litos in 9th place, with Wacky Pie in 10th, who goes very wide at the Melbourne hairpin. Oh, maybe not. Litos is off. Oh, and on the final lap as well. Just a few hundred metres from the finish line, he's lost the front wing and he's lost 9th position. And Litos 76 will be absolutely heartbroken. 10th place it will be as he finishes in front of Max Shome and Andy Bob in 12th, with Kobayashi 13th and a retirement for Sky Pilot. So thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back with you very shortly for more action here on the Simraceway YouTube channel. Hello everybody and welcome back live here to all of your sim race reaction from Donington Park. It's John Daniels that takes pole position in the final round of the 900 to 1100 B race here today. So plenty is at stake as the skill quants get set up for grabs. It all comes down to this. The final round of the championship is about to get underway and the lights go out. It's Lounge in the lead to charge overall. But in the B race, this is where it all comes down to for these guys. Round the outside there is Brock Landers in sixth, going as far to the track limits as he possibly can. He's been walloped. I think that was Luigi UO. We've got a car off there. That's Lazarus that has gone a bit wide in turn one. We will get a restart. And that was just a practice, of course. And now we will get the proper race start underway in just a few moments' time. Okay, so then the race about to get underway is John Daniels on pole position, and in terms of the championship, it could not get fiercer. Let's just wait and see who can make the best start. Blue Fatality has been dropped 10 positions, of course, overall because of an existing penalty, but it's a field set now in towards turn number one for the first time. Who's going to be able to make it stick? They saw down in towards it. That's a little bit of argy-bargy, and I think we've got a spinner. Oh, we do, and that's a complete pirouette there from Rudolph. I think that's going to be worthy of a restart. Yes, it is. So the restart will be just underway in a moment's time. So, third time lucky then, the drivers line up on the grid. John Daniels on pole position, claiming he's a bit nervous. We'll wait and see. That shows in his race, however, though, we all know what that man is capable of. He's 16th currently in the hot lap session, and in terms of where he wants to be right now, he needs something just a little greater, doesn't he? So now away we go. A big start already by Lazarus, who's got himself into the lead. Of course, he may lose it by the first corner as he'll be on the outside line. That is the case, and Luigi with a bit of contact there with the Magico, and I think himself and Ken's ending up off the racetrack. But through the crater curves for the first time. And Blue Fatality still looking like he's going to be the man to make a move, and almost loses the car. Brock Landis way out of shape. Blue Fatality, lightning reactions to avoid some contact there. And that could have ended horrifically badly. So Fatality, who started from last place on the grid, has now got himself up in towards that top 5, just on the edge of it at the moment. Ken's 27 or 247 opening up for a move onto Magico there. Now around the outside, beautiful move into the chicane. Not exactly the easiest place to pass in the world, but he's absolutely done it correctly and got the move completed. So now, I've set his sights on Rudolph 523 as they come towards the end of the first lap. Oh, I'm going to spin. Was it a spin? It was. It was the Magico that's gone round. That is a big problem, isn't it? Now he's stopped completely. Is this going to be an early retirement? So yes, it is. So Magico out of the race then, and all the battles raging on at the front of the field. It's John Daniels in second now. Started the race on pole. Now sits himself just behind Lazarus 16. Through Craners once again, and oh, a big move there. So he slipped down to 4th as Daniels now. And it was almost 5th for a moment as Brock Landis tried his luck and once again failed. But Blue Fatality up into 3rd position. This man is on an absolute warpath. And it won't be long before he's challenging for the lead of the race, will it, at this stage? Let's just take a look as well at where he is currently in terms of the overall championship. Because you take a look at those standings, and he's only on 5 points so far, so he's not been a successful start to his campaign, and now drops to 6th as well. That's not been an ideal second lap, is it? Well, that progress somewhat halted for now, but it's all very tightly bunched at the front of the field as Daniels is starting to get a bit of a train forming behind him now. A big moment there in the background. Massive cloud of smoke coming out from the back of Bellinus' car. I'm assuming that's just a lockup, but could very well be long. Oh, wrong, I should say, but through Craners once again, and Blue Fatality. Just keeping an eye on him because we know he's pacey. He's already made out half the field. It's not going to be long before surely he starts to make it back once again. He's always definitely a dark horse to look out for. Through they come, and still the order unchanged in that midfield as Rudolph in 3rd leads from Luigi, Rudolph, Brock Landis, sorry, and Ken's now a bit of a change, I think, at the front of the field, because that is certainly not Lazarus 16. Now, Hello everybody, welcome to the delayed start here of your Simraceway 900 to 1100 A race. And what a prospect it is, 41 laps of Donington Park. We've just seen a very chaotic opening few laps, an extremely close qualifying session to boot as well, and it's Jamie 1 that leads the charge at the moment as they dive down in towards that chicane, travelled very close to their bikes. There was a short delay on the start. I did think, honestly, that was a practice start and not the official race start, but everyone got away cleanly, therefore was deemed as a race start. And HO6 up the inside of Melbourne, and that's gone wrong, and Devil Bevan says thank you very much. 2 positions in one corner as Baxter violently looks for a way back through. He's on the outside of a very tricky hairpin, and they both go pirouetting round. And off the final corner, both parties will be very discontent with that. Devil Bevan rejoins, and Baxter has got a little bit of work to do now. But 1 down, 40 laps to go. El Nino in 10th, and another interesting element of this race will be pit strategy. Obviously, it's down to the driver should they want to pit or no. Do you want a heavy car? Do you want to go the entire race on the same amount of fuel? Or do you feel confident you can go in a pit stop and come out and be faster overall and make up enough time? So you've got to be overall over, say, a pit stop 20 seconds. You'll need to be 20 seconds overall faster during those 2 stints than someone who doesn't stop at all for it to work. Very, very difficult choice to make. All down to driving confidence and where they are in the championship as well. We've seen a very intriguing picture in the early stages here in the championship. We're on round 4, the final one now. There's a little bit of 3 wide action almost there into the chicane. That's El Nino around the outside of Devil Bevan. I think he's just about made that one stick, hasn't he? Very good attempt if he can keep it there going into Melbourne. We know Devil Bevan likes to try and sneak it around the outside there. He's done it before. He's just all trying to cut back now and keep that momentum flowing, but unfortunately, I think that momentum bottle may have just got a cap on it. He's not going to be able to find a move round the final corner, and that is a big shame for him. But the championship so far has been a remarkable one. Into turn 1. Coming away series once again, that infamous first corner before the Craner curves. Oh, one off there, tags Variety, and it's again the same story that's plagued him all championship long, the inconsistencies. And now that, I believe, as far as I'm aware, is coming out of McLean's and in towards... No, it's not, I beg your pardon, it's through the Craners. So that is a real intriguing place to stop there, so I think he's just been knocked slightly, and that is, unfortunately, sending careering onto the grass, but still battles flowing throughout the field at the early stage here. Lap 3 of 41, El Nino doing a lot of the attacking here. El Nino and Devil Bevan have been having their own little war. Devil Bevan flies up the inside. Very lucky there not to collect Mr. Jolly, but by the way, the move's completed and El Nino sinks to 9th position. Yeah, so Redgate the first corner, but they're going into Goddard's now the final one. It's a very difficult corner to make, isn't it? Big yard of Goddard down the main straight and in towards Redgate now. That first apex, so tricky. Well, El Nino look for the inside as the double apex turns you out into Hollywood. The answer is no. And you can see already the skid marks there where the other drivers have tried to attempt such a manoeuvre, such an audacious manoeuvre perhaps it could be conceived as. So Devil Bevan in 8th place, 7th Mr. Jolly, 6th Lollin Fox. Place Mr. PA currently, although he's hounding the very, very back end of Severio, isn't he? So despite everything there, let's just take a look back at the ever-growing war now where Lollin Fox heads Mr. Jolly, Devil Bevan and all of those other drivers who are fighting so wildly over position. Lollin Fox holds on, very, very tricky. The corner does not tighten up as fast as you like, and you can't just cut a car across that. You've got to be committed through that corner, and it's so hard, and that's exactly what happens when you don't. He's gone extremely wide, and he's in turn lost about 3 positions. So another lap in the books, and I think it'll be another sad moment there for Lollin Fox. He'll be really hoping that he can turn his race around. He's got plenty of time to do so, and of course the added essence of pit stops as well. Nino goes very wide there, and he's just trying to get a move going. It's a very risky attempt, but again making it stick. So It seems like he's fighting his way out of the field and then losing all the progress. So hopefully El Nino now can get his road in the right direction. Well, an update on the race leader. It's Jamie that still leads at the moment from AGO6, but he's got a lot of pressure coming from the man in second. And that is going to be one of the big issues in this race. About getting away. It's something that Donington offers and not many circuits do. That perfect complexion of the long back straight that you see here, and as they make their way down through the back corner. So you come out of Coppice Corner, down Starkey, straight in towards the S's. That is the corner and that straight where drivers can be most, I'd say useful in fact, when it comes to the slipstream. That's where they can get the most out of the car. Really a chance to stretch these legs now. And AGO6, because of that, because over nearly half a lap is going down Starkey straight, he's able to cling right to the back of Jamie. Even if Jamie's faster through the corners, providing there's no error, this is where AGO6 makes up the time. Let's just wait and see. Over the bump down Starkey's and in towards the S's. And as you can see, that gap was closed up by approximately half a second just through that one corner. If it was half a second closer previously, that may well have been a move attempt. And so there you've got Severio and PA side by side. It's Mr. PA on the outside who's having to yield once again. Severio outbrakes himself. Thank you very much, yes, Mr. PA, and through he goes. And that has been possibly one of the easiest places for overtaking today. Severio once again goes through, holds off Mr. PA. And out of Redgate once again. They're still very close though. So an update of the order as it stands then. We spoke before obviously about this battle with it's now PA and Devil Bevin, as Devil Bevin goes through due to an error by PA. We'll go through the race leader. It's still Jamie from AGO6 in second. Only just, jeez, that is a very close top two. I didn't realise that Sean 24 was that close in fact. I know he was closing, but the job's already half done. Out of Melbourne they come, and Sean 24 is 2 seconds away from a race lead. Now that is absolutely imperative as they go through the final corner once again. Absolutely remarkable driving here by Sean over the line. And the top three separated by virtually nothing. So fourth is Severio from Devil Bevin, who's trying to hold off again from a recovering Mr. PA. El Nino's in 7th place, Jolly in 8th, Baxagabe in 9th, Fregel in 10th. Luke Sky, oh he's gone wide there actually, so Luke Sky down to 11th now. So yeah, Fregel 10th, Luke Sky 11th, and Tvarty in 12th after the lap 2 incident. And Andre passed the 13th, with our only retirement of the day being Lolin Fox in 14th place. But I think for now all eyes need to remain focused highly on that battle for the race lead. And as you can see down Starkey straight, even Severio's getting a bit of a look in here. He's only 16 seconds away. It's still closable, still achievable, especially if there's going to be pit stops factored into this as well. Out of turn 1 again. He's looking at the line there of AGO6. A 1 minute 10.1 for him that time round. 2 tenths quicker than the race leader. Sean 24 remains in 3rd and still matching the leaders through out and out pace. He's done very well so far and maybe an outsider for a victory. Severio closed that gap there by 4 seconds that time. And still Pierre and El Nino back at it once again. Now Nino doing everything in his power to launch one up the inside, and that closed up way too quickly and almost ended in some inevitable contact. Down Starkey's once again, and PA doing just about enough to hold him off for now. But El Nino looking increasingly feisty, and in these first few laps alone, I think El Nino must have overtaken more cars than anyone else. He's really been on fire, but the thing is, through all the overtakes he's had, he's lost it at the very next corner, and he's always done it again there. Because it's very difficult with Donington. As soon as you overtake, you get overtaken again. Every action has a reaction, as the saying goes, and unfortunately around Donington, that reaction usually results in a counter-attack. Lap number 10 started here out of the 41 given to us. So through the crane of curves go the top 5 one more time, and looking at what AG06 is doing, he's maintained that gap of about 1.5 seconds now. It has not changed in the last few moments. I think it's got to be said that AG06 may just have the upper hand here. It's all about pressure and forcing your opponent into an error, and a track as unforgiving as this, that may be the wake-up call that Jamie needs. I think if they got any closer, the two cars may have been merged into one. AG06 all over that rear end and applying so much pressure now to the race leader Jamie 1. It's going to be an enthralling battle right until the end. I think we're all very much aware. Just what's at stake here. Through crane of curves again go AG06 and co. And Sean 24 interestingly dropped off a little bit. So still holding strong is AG06 at the moment. Sean 24 third, Severio fourth, 12 seconds away. Devil Bevan in fifth here in the final round of the championship. Of course, it all comes down to this. Some drivers have had fantastic starts to the season, others not so good. So while some are looking to simply finish the race and already have their 3 best rounds, others still looking for that one key round to turn their regular season into a championship drive. Out of Goddard's again, and it's still Jamie 1 holding on. Sean in third now, a couple of seconds back. I'll give you a quick rundown of what's happening a bit further down the field actually. It's all seemingly under closed curtains at the moment. Everyone's dropped back in. I think El Nino's lost a lot of ground as of recently. He's down to P11 now. Of course, was 7th before. No, it's not where he wanted to be at all. But even so, him and Axvarti will be having their own little war, and Axvarti very much eyes open, we should say, to how aggressive El Nino can be and has been, especially this race. Devil Bevan there opening up for another move on Severio into the S's. He's got the inside line, hit the anti-curts, will be on the outside on the exits, and he tries to sneak underneath. But it's not enough in the end, and Severio, once again, has to defend. Round the outside, tries to cut back underneath. Devil Bevan takes advantage, but look at the drive that outside McLaren has. Severio accelerating hard through the gears, now shifts down to second to cut back underneath down the final straight. He's played it beautifully, but it's not enough for a move, and Devil Bevan has just outwitted Severio to make a very impressive manoeuvre. As we rapidly approach here the first 15 laps of this race coming to an end, and start to maybe think about mid-race pit stops. But down Starkeys come the 2 leaders of AG06 and Jamie 1, with AG06 looking increasingly more dangerous. I think is the only word to put it, isn't it? Just a few tenths of a second away right now. AG06 to the outside, trying to sneak through again. No avail, but Jamie 1 now with a bit of a lock-up into the final turn. And that could prove dividends as we come towards the end of another lap. Lap number 14 is now underway at 41 to the lap number overall total reversed. And AGO6 under the gorgeous weather here at Donington, right in the heart of England, and the home of many a racing memory for motorsport fans across all disciplines, from British GT to all the way back in Formula 1. Down Starkeys, it seems AGO6 gets closer, and can he get close through the S's? The answer's no. Now, they do start to approach a bit of traffic. Now, is that going to be a bit of a problem for the leaders, or will they approach him at a good... It looks to me like he's going to approach the traffic. Coming out of the final corner, so they should be able to overtake it down the straight, and AGO6 may be looking to turn that into an overtaking advantage. But no, I was wrong, so down. They've hit turn 1 and the opposing car still there. Sean 24 now, 3.7 seconds adrift as they make their way in towards the Craner curves for a 15th time. And AGO6 still must be getting a little bit frustrated right now. He's doing everything he can to pass him, and he just cannot get that gap shrunk down enough. Now, Devil Bevan's got the pit button lit up on his car. I'm wondering if he will be pitting in within the next lap or so. It is going to be the first of a few stops here for Devil Bevan. Or is it just another one of those driver errors that we're so used to seeing here? PA also with his so conveniently enough. Agvarti 10th, still in front of El Nino, interestingly. El Nino's not been able to advance himself into the top 10 just yet, and that has been a real factor here today. El Nino just has not been able to turn all those impressive manoeuvres into a strong race. The overall pace has just not been there. Although the inside, there he goes actually, and just flicked through the field again, and El Nino on the inside, pushing Agvarti as far as he can, and it's just not going to cut it, is it? Agvarti holds on, brakes much earlier though to retain the inside line. El Nino will be carrying much more speed through the corner, and unfortunately though, that will not be transpired into an overtaking manoeuvre. Well, he's gone wide though again, and he's very lucky there to not lose control of the car. A lot of drivers, talking to them earlier, who've been a little bit more worried about the handling of this car. Obviously, the very low downforce of the modern day Formula 1 car and the very high speeds mean it can be quite a handful to take around any modern circuit, especially one as daunting and as ferocious as Donington Park. And talking of ferocious, just how ferocious is AGO6 getting right now? Still about 1.5 seconds away. Devil Bevan P4 also now starting to maybe be a factor here. He's pulled away from Severio. He's only about 9 seconds away from Sean 24. And Bevan looking much tidier through there though. Now, what he will really be hoping for is that the front three get all piled together, start battling, start losing time. Obviously at Donington, you get in a 2-3 car battle, you go wide, that's race over, isn't it then, in terms of overall pace, because you'll be dropping a good 2-3 seconds a lap. And Devil Bevan will say thank you very much. And push his way through. As of right now, that's actually going to be the case. He's only 3 seconds away from Sean 24. And taking a ride on board with him, that view just in the foreground as they go out of the final apex once again is looking a little bit more refreshing, isn't it, for Devil Bevan? I'll compare his lap time. And a 109 flat, and Devil Bevan is eating these guys alive. A 109.4 for Sean, a 109.4 for AGO6, and a 109.6 for the race leader. So the fastest car at the moment is not the pole sitter. It is not the man who's second. It's not Sean 24, but it's Devil Bevan who's really come alive in these last couple of laps or so. And in towards the S's, Devil Bevin's view is just getting ever more enticing. He's ridden that curb very high though. That's the only trouble with Donington, is that the anti-cuts are very high. You've got the actual apex the car's meant to hit. And then you've got those long, those very high curves to stop cars trying to cut across and gain an advantage. Now in a regular car like a Renault Megane that we have here on Sim Raceway, or perhaps one of the BMWs, wouldn't be such an issue. Like the Mitsubishi Evo can handle it very well because it's a road car and obviously goes over speed bumps on a majority of days used by most consumers. But with these cars where they're so low to the ground, they're so low on downforce and grip, the slightest bump in the track is going to prove a real issue. And when you go for an anti-cut that's about 6-7 inches off the ground, it can really be a spanner in the works and cause these drivers to lose time. So whilst the S's can be one of the most splendid overtaking opportunities on the circuit, it doesn't always mean it's going to be easy or successful. Still, Sean 24 becoming more and more of a factor in that battle as well. He's starting to reel them in. We leave home with a big catch, though. It's still yet to be seen, but they've all got to be worried because, yes, Sean 24 is reeling them in, but look at the man who's just cleaning house right now in terms of overall lap pace. I've not seen anyone be this pacey for quite some time, and AG06 trying to go round the outside. The final corner, just take a bit of a wider line to gain some sort of an advantage. Sean 24, Devil Bevin. Then you've got Severio who's starting to develop into a bit of a battle with PA. We've got two cars there who are actually side by side a moment ago. That's back to Gaber and Fregel over 8th and 9th. But I think, no man, I'm just looking through the field, making sure no one's going to dive into the pits anytime soon as we rapidly approach a halfway mark. Time flies when you're having fun. Jamie looking like he's becoming a little bit more under pressure. You can just see in the back of his eyes that not only has he got AG06 to deal with, but he's got Sean and the fastest man on the circuit, all in his mirrors, all within 4 seconds, and all looking for a victory here today at Donington. And I should take a ride on board then with AG06 then, because as they come out towards Coppice and down Starkey straight for time number 21. Just looking at the drive, he's getting out of the corner, and it is going to be enough to start handing Jamie over the bump they go. And you'll see what I mean now about these anti-cut strips through the apex, and there it is, that big blue bulk. It's almost like a brick that these drivers drive over, and you can already see how the car bounces around from under them. That's causing some minor damage, but the only thing that's really damaging right now is the lead that Jamie 1 does not have. He had it at the start of the race. He's not lost the lead in the opening half of the race now, but he does need, however, a little bit of luck on his side, I think. That or an extreme sense of determination and motivation, and to not let the pressure overwhelm him. Now, Devil Bevin is in the pits now. I thought Devil Bevin was going a bit quick. It could be that he's been on a much lighter car all the time as he gets very sideways out of the pit lane. So Devil comes out of the pits and he's going to come out just behind Mr. Jolly, we think. So is it literally just side by side with him round the outside of turn 1? That's not what he wants. He's forced to go wide. He can't build up the speed. They can't go side by side through Craner. That's only going to end in tears. And in towards the old hairpin again, Devil Bevin is really starting to struggle on those cold tyres. You can see that is a real pain, and Baxter Gamer takes full advantage. Not quite. His finest ever trashes into barriers, and Baxter Gamer gets the corner completely wrong. The McLaren MP426 limps around the corner, and Axvarti narrowly missing him as he goes wide. And Dreams shot up in smoke there. That is such a shame when he spun again. There's no downforce. What a pity there for Baxter-Gabriel. Is this the end of the race for him? I fear it may well be. Yeah, he's pulled over and he's already showing his frustration at Devil Bevin. That's race over for him. He's got a car making its way down pit lane. That's Mr. PA, who's decided to pit in. So the two protagonists that we spoke of earlier on, who are more likely to pit, have actually got their way into the pit lane. And out goes PA, hopefully a slightly less troublesome stop. But Jamie's still currently holding strong in the lead, as I think these tyres are starting to give way a bit now, and the leaders have been pushing very hard, and now they've got the threat removed that was Devil Bevin. It's now just a bit of a case for them to relax slightly. By that I mean you can just look in your rear mirrors without being terrified once again, and just focus on what's in front of you now for Sean 24, and hope he can hold on to those tyres a bit more, because I've got a feeling AG06 would have pushed his slightly harder in the opening stint of the race. That's going to be an almighty trouble. You can see already, yeah, both cars going wide. AG06 just done one then and went 2 wheels off the grass there. So a very intriguing race so far. It's about to get even better. Out of the final corner goes Jamie. Still holding that lead strong. He's pulled away a mighty gap now. Wondering if Jamie's just preserved those tyres a bit better and kicked himself into overdrive. Car leaving the pit lane. Now that MP426 belongs to Anxiety. He's going to leave the pits in 9th position. So lap 24 of 41, and already these drivers have started to make their intentions extremely clear. Jamie into the S's, 1.5 seconds adrift now, and this is where he's coming into his own, this mid-race pace. Not many drivers can keep a 109 up all race long, but Jamie is one of those few. Bit of a lock-up on the front right though as he goes through the Melbourne hairpin. Over the line now, and it's even quicker at 109.1, so as the car's getting lighter, Jamie's getting faster, but that would indicate to me that the other two drivers have not actually lost any time, that maybe Jamie's on a lighter car and is going to have to stop slightly sooner. And that could be a real possibility. But out of Craner, through the old hairpin, and in towards Coppice Corner, go the top three once again. Now we'll take a look at what's happening on us slightly further down the field. I'm pretty sure it's all fizzled out. Yeah, no real battles taking form at this midway stage during the race, but one thing that is taking form is Jamie 1's charge for the lead and AG06's defensive second, as his attention's now starting to turn on what's behind him as opposed to what's in front of him. Jamie over the start-finish line again, and a 109.1 to boot, a 109.2 from AG06 and a 109.2 also from Sean 24. So some incredible pace being set, but still Jamie 1 now to 4 seconds clear. That man is flying. It's like someone just giving him a can of Red Bull in the car, isn't it? Because that man has got wings, he's flying. around this circuit. And he's absolutely on fire, showing no sign of letting up. So Jamie through the S's, and El Nino there looking like he's exceeded track limits a bit. So the man, and I say a bit, what I mean is he's actually off the circuit, but now he's had a puncture. I've got a feeling that was either a puncture or there was something wrong with the car or a wheel missing. They look at the rear left to me, if I'm not mistaken. He has retired now, so out of the race is El Nino. That becomes our third retirement, I believe, along with Luke Sky 80 and Lolin Fox, those two drivers who departed earlier on in the race. But we're almost on lap number 30, as 3.6 seconds is the distance that AG06 needs to cover come the line, and a 109 flat though, so he is getting there, which is not quite quick enough. So Severio currently in front of Mr. Jolly, and Devil Bevan in P6, PA 7th, Fregal 8th, Svarty 9th, and Andre Pasa in P10 at the moment. But my goodness me, what an almighty scrap we've got on our hands for the lead if things, well, continue to go the way they are. So a short pause there just to appreciate the sheer sound of these cars. Absolutely beautiful. And the last car, of course, to use the gorgeous V12 and V8 engine, the golden era of Formula 1 in the modern last 10 years or so. But they've all been so fantastic here. All the McLaren engineered cars over the last few years, all the way back to their championship winning one back in 2008. Lewis Hamilton famously overtook Timo Glock round the outside of the penultimate corner at Interlagos, securing the championship on the final lap, and a monumental moment that goes down in a history that is ever so rich here at McLaren, and these drivers just ever adding to it today. But another ride on board with AG06, and I think those tyres starting to come back to him a bit. The gap now shrunk to about 2 seconds now as they go in towards Goddard for the 29th time today. He's holding a much tighter line than Jamie, a little bit of oversteer as well. The through Craner, and AG06 still looking to push with everything he's got right now, but so the top battles that are currently raging on in the circuit are going to be the two top battles for the top three, so both Jamie, AG06 and Sean. And then there's also a battle raging on for 5th and 6th place, and that is Devil Bevan and Mr. Jolly. And whilst it's not a battle at the moment, could well be very shortly. Devil Bevan, the man who was right up there at the front of the field doing, well, 109 flats before he pitted in. So he knows exactly how to handle this race car, he knows how to be quick. He ripped chunks of times out of the top three and was able to establish himself as part of that battle just before it was a little too late. He had to pit in, and that cost him quite dearly because may not have been the right call to go for. Only a few drivers have pitted in, himself and Mr. Pierre are one of them. But Devil Bevan finds himself now 2 seconds behind Mr. Jolly in P6, so he's dropped 2 positions. However, looking to make one of them back very shortly. He's only 2 seconds away again now from Mr. Jolly. Over the line again. Let's just appreciate the time he does. Will it be? Oh, it's a 109.5, so slightly slower, and a 109.1 from Jolly. That's a testament to Mr. Jolly's not going to give up 5th position easy, especially when you consider the championship picture as well. But the main battle, the crux of the field, are focusing on that scrap for the lead at the moment, which has still remained unchanged. It's AGO6 leading his charge in second as he tries to keep Sean at bay and also attack Jamie. Very difficult job to do when you're trying to focus on taking the lead of a race this long. And this duration with a circuit is challenging. The last thing you want to do is worry about the hunter becoming the hunted. One tiny mistake while overtaking Jamie, and not only are you going to lose second and the chance to win, but you could even drop to the third step on the podium. Well, something that not many people want to do. And in towards Starkey Straight come. Two leaders now separated by just about 1.5 seconds. So still a lot of racing to be done, but you've got a feeling that unless there's a significant error by someone, there's not really going to be much action in terms of this fight though, because he's been kept at bay for quite some time now, AGO6. He hasn't been able to capitalise on any mistakes that Jamie has made or hasn't made. There hasn't been many at all. Jamie's driven a very consistent, very solid race. And AGO6 has done exactly the same, but he's got to try and think outside the box and work out a way around him before it's too late. So AGO doing everything in his power to stick with Jamie 1, but even that looks like it's fading now. Jamie just 2.1 seconds away. And it's starting to fade away. Sean now a further 4.9 back, so it is falling back just ever so slightly. And that could be a real factor going towards the end of this race. Everybody knows exactly how powerful these cars are and how difficult they are when they're in dirty air. Yeah, apologies for the short delay. I tended to accidentally knock a drink over and it sort of went all over my keyboard and microphone, which wasn't ideal, but we are back now, so apologies for that. Have been watching the action now and still no real developments other than Jamie who started to catch a bit of traffic right now, and AGO6 slumped back just a little. That could be slightly costly. He needs to try and find a way through. So AGO still pushing on from Jamie. We've got Sean 24 third, Severio in fourth, fifth place still Jolly, sixth is Mr. PA. Seventh place belongs to, at the moment, is Asserta Mr. Frego in front of Axvarti. In fact, Axvarti recovered well to 8th so far, but it's going to maybe do just a bit more before it's too late. So back to the action then. We've got the final 7 laps or so of racing here at Donington. We've already seen some spectacular scenes, and most of them at the start of the race. It was all crucial about that race start, wasn't it? You had to get it right. If you didn't, there was going to be some problems. I think some drivers already faced that. We saw Axvarti and what happened to his race after a short incident at the Craner Curves. And in complete contrast, Jamie had a perfect launch off the line, defending his lead from the get-go. And from then on was able to step up a real charge, and has never really even thought of looking back, is he? Yes, he's had 2, 3, sometimes even 4 cars at bay, all trying to move their way past, but they never could get the job done. Jamie was just way too wily. He knew how to defend, and he knows that if he can just drive that same racing line, he's going to be okay. And that seems to be the definite issue right now. Is Sean 24 is doing... Sean 24 is actually in front of AGO6. Now AGO6 down to 3rd. As the skies get a little bit darker, he's 13 seconds away. So AGO6 has lost 3rd position. That's what I missed. I think after the drink spillage situation. So Jolly in 4th. That's a real shame to AGO6 as well, and it's also been a bit of fresh air now, because that's allowed Jamie to have 8 seconds back to the nearest car to really start pushing away now. Just relax maybe, because he's had 43 minutes of tension, pressure. So he's putting on himself, obviously, an understeering and oversteering car, failing tyre levels. And Jamie comes out of the Coppice corner into Starkey's once again, and it just looks to me like he needs to do just that. Drive it consistent, drive it safe, and the rest will come easy, and surely a race win to end what has already been an emphatic day for him. So Sean 2nd, AGO6 3rd, Jolly 4th. So Jolly's moved up to 4, which has been a good start for him. Very good progress. Severio 5th. Now Devil Bevin is out of the race in 10th. So Devil Bevin, after a wondrous start, fighting his way through the top 5 to make contact and a bit of combat as well and get himself in the championship picture for the top 3, has now retired. I think that's our 4th retirement. Yes, it is. So Andre passed to the last remaining car at the moment in 9th place. Varty in 8th, just behind Fregel and P8. And you've got Severio, Jolly, AGO6, Sean 24 CZ, and Jamie 1 in the lead still. So just a couple of laps left to go now too, as Jamie 1 comes across the start-finish line for the 39th time. He's done a wondrous job at the forefront of the field, and as all the action starts to die down, I'm pretty sure it's time to take a bit of a look back at the championship so far. When you take a look at the standings and who's where and who needs to be where in terms of their own race, it's Lounger that leads. PA's in 2nd overall. Axvarti 3rd on 146, but you look at the man who's leading of Jamie 1, and you have to appreciate that what this man has done is simply fantastic. 42 points overall, he's 25th in the championship, and this will be a fantastic drive to move him up the order. The man in 2nd though is obviously fighting very, very hard. Sean 24C has done impressive jobs all throughout this championship, in fact. And in return, that's earned him 11th place, 66 points. And he should, well, he will theoretically now take 10th as Devil Bevan is retired. That was the man directly in front of him on 6 more points. Stuntman Mike's absent today, so that will also perhaps moving up. Mr. Jolly, another big win there. So he's currently tied 7th with Colin Fox on 92 points. All he needed was 2 to get in front of AGO6, and instead he's got himself in 4th position. So it could very well be a big chance here to move himself up the order. But Jamie 1 starts the final lap of the race as what has been an entirely dominant campaign. Yes, he's been under pressure, but has he been overtaken? Not even once. The man has been a rock at the front of the field today. So just the last few corners. Out of Coppers he comes. Sean is in second, 10 seconds away. He'll be delighted with a second place finish. But Jamie 1, a man who nobody expected to really be at the forefront of the battling, who you just looked at the standings going into this race, you would have put all your monies on the likes of Mr. Jolly, who's so far up in the standings. Just goes to show you that it's consistency that's the key. But you take a look at what Jamie's doing, and he will be a real threat in championships to come. A superb drive it's been, and a superb victory to match. Out of Goddard's corner for the final time today then. Hammer down on the throttle and over to the pit wall. Jamie 1 wins the final round of the Design for Speed Championship, and Jamie 1 is Designed for Speed. What a win that is. He will be absolutely delighted to cross the line a winner. Second place is Sean 24. A very well fought for second place. You would have hoped it could have been slightly more, but also very appreciative after AGO6's unfortunate incident which set him back to third. AGO6 crosses the line. I think he'll be very disheartened with that. Obviously fighting for the lead the entire race to just make one tiny lapse of concentration. Send him down to third. Mr. Jolly will be over the moon with 4th place. Another solid run will see him excel further up the championship order. 5th place, Severio. This is going to be a very good drive for that young man. He's developed so much over these past few seasons or so of championships here in Simraceway. And out of Goddard's, he's guided that MP426 to a very good top 5 result. And I'm sure there'll be some celebrations inside. Oh, it's caught fire! So, quite literally fiery celebrations there for Severio. As I've never seen a McLaren catch fire. Oh, if he'd have done that a couple of seconds sooner, he may not have even taken 5th. Those scary moments indeed. Mr. PA takes 6th in front of Fregel. He will take 7th. Dagsvarty will take 8th place. Andrik past the 9th. And out of the race are Devil Bevin, El Nino, Baxagaber, Luke Sky, and Lolin Fox. Thank you so much for joining us this championship. It has been absolutely spectacular. Congratulations to all of our race winners and overall championship winner Lounger, who's done a fantastic job, and WTTM1, who's also kept his authority to win the 500 to 900 skill quant race. It's been a brilliant championship. They say it's designed for speed. They could have called it designed for excitement, designed for passion, and designed for Simraceway, because this symbolises everything that Simraceway is about. So from me, Liam Jenkins, thank you to our events administrator Kosako, who makes all of this possible and spends so much of his time delivering such a quality service, to our cameraman No Fear C, and to Pedro Ramos for helping us out throughout this championship as well. To all of the fans and the drivers who put on such a sterling show and make sure I spend Monday barely able to talk. To the guys who in the chat who spend all of their free time with the popcorn out admiring the action, because without the fans and you guys watching the stream, the Simraceway users, there would not be a live stream. And it really does mean a lot to me that you take your time out of the day to sit down and watch some really quality racing on a fantastic game. But from me, Liam Jenkins, I will see you next weekend for what could be the start of a brand new era here in Simraceway. Take it easy. I'll see you on the racetrack.